was this dude that when he walks by somebody that's eating an ice cream cone, and it's like a whole series of him doing it to different people. He like dives in and eats the entire cone, like deep throats the entire cone, and then majority of the time it was women, and they just start wailing on him with the cone, like hitting him with the cone, smacking him in his face. He's like, hold on, it's a prank. It's like, but they don't care unless you're about to buy him a new cone.
Right, he probably did, but they're like, in the moment, that's my cone. I want this ice cream.
Yeah, disrespectful.
That's actually theft.
Yeah,
because they bought that. That's their ice cream cone, and he just stole it.
And their germs.
Yeah.
I don't know where their mouth's been.
I know that guy got hurt. Like, oh, not again.
All right. So welcome to Seriously Lighthearted, where we take a serious, lighthearted look at life and anything that crosses our feeds. And this week, I don't even know if this is lighthearted, not funny, but more of like, are we going too far? And I don't think we, I know social media is its own entity right now, but I guess what I wanted to talk about was that an influencer just got sentenced to 1 year in prison. He got sentenced because all of his videos, I guess, I don't know the history of him. His name is Charles Smith, a.k.a. Wolfie Khaletti. But I guess a lot of his like skits and shorts and videos are pranks. But they're those pranks that involve innocent bystanders that have no idea that they're going to be a part of his prank. But what got him in the most trouble, he's done some stuff where he's thrown food at people, done stuff to try to embarrass people, stolen some stuff from like a donut shop or something like that. But what really got him in trouble is that he made a video of him going to a Walmart, I think in Mesa, Arizona, where he's spraying poison, like bug poison or whatever, insecticide on fruits and stuff at the store. And I guess as he's going, I don't know the whole context, but as he's doing it, don't know if he realizes this is bad. I shouldn't do this because I don't know if he was live or it was a video that he posted later. Mm-hmm. But everyone saw both sides, so they saw him spray, but they also saw him try to get a cart, put all the fruit and stuff that he sprayed on it into a cart, and then throw the cart in like the back storage room of Walmart or something like that, trying to like say I threw it away, but the police saw it. Like some people reported it. Police saw it. Arrested them. Was like, no, that's XYZ offense. So he actually got sentenced on with that, and I think they tied in his other stuff since he's local to that area, and they gave him 1 year. I think they gave him a year and a half with half of it being served because I think he go to jail first. Because this happened last year, I believe. But you go to jail first, and then you get sentenced to prison. So they gave him that time that he was served. But as he was kind of telling about, like, how you got to get in front of a judge and say, I'm sorry. Yeah. It was more like he was blaming social media for creating this entity of him being like, more like, oh, social media is just evil. And it was just in my head. And mind you, I guess at this point, this kid is making $10,000 a month with all of his stuff that he's been doing. Mm-hmm. But he was just saying how, like, it's created this monster in him, right? Which I could see. I could see, like, you're always looking for the next big thing, and I can only imagine with prank videos, you're looking to go bigger and more shocking, but you can't go dangerous, and it's like some of these youth, they don't think about the repercussions of their actions. Right. And I'm like, at what point in your development process of creating your content that you thought that was funny?
Right.
Now I can see you like, I'm creating this because it's shocking. I'm creating this because it's I'm gonna get that awe effect. But do you not realize how dangerous that is? Like, even if you try to clean it up, you're spraying a spray. And I guess he had 1.2 has some video where he sprayed fire extinguisher on someone's bare skin, which is CO2, can give you frostbite. Mm-hmm. But no one thinks about that stuff. I don't know if they just think, oh, this is hanging there for a case of a fire, but it won't harm anything else. It's just for fires. Like, it's chemicals. Mm-hmm. Like, now I don't know his age. I don't remember his age. Definitely youth, probably in his 20s, very youthful. But it's just like, how much do you blame on social media? How much do you blame on just your psyche and your brain? Because even I think the judge, sentenced him to see a psychiatrist, just to make sure everything was supposedly quote unquote working properly upstairs. You know what I mean? But
yeah, because like, where is the prank in spraying?
But
that, like going into a store, spraying that. What's the prank in that in the first place?
It's going to draw views.
That's
whatever for views. And here's the thing. First off, those fruits were already covered in pesticides. It's American food products. There's glyphosate all over that. So
I'm fine with that.
I mean, wash your fruits no matter what, because you don't know if somebody sprayed them, spit on them. Everybody touched them.
Right.
True.
But
Yes.
still,
Yeah.
they're called nuisance influencers.
Nuisance.
Yeah, I call them
influencers.
chaos creators, chaos content creators. They thrive. Their content is based off being a nuisance in society or creating some sort of chaos.
Okay.
And there are different levels to it. There's this one guy I see, and you may have seen him. I think he's in LA or something, and he walks up to somebody, generally like somebody who looks hard.
Yeah.
And he'll say like you want a punch or something, that like you want a beef, and the guy's like, what are you talking about? And some people will get seriously like about to throw blows, and he pulls out like a beef stick. You know what I mean?
Okay, I've seen some.
And he pulls out the drink or whatever. That's the thing. But you're walking up to a human, and you are triggering these guys, especially because they're hard.
Right.
These are not in the good neighborhoods of LA. He knows what he's doing with these people. That's nuisance. It's kind of chaos, but it always stops before somebody gets hurt. But he does rile someone up. You never know when it's gonna. There is a story of a guy who I do believe got shot doing
That's what I'm gonna say. There has been stories of people getting hurt. How do they not learn from that person's experience? I mean, because again, they're in that world. They're going to hear those stories of the cases of people doing these stuff, and it goes bad for them.
Yeah.
So why keep doing it?
Because I mean, if they do get hurt, that's even more views.
Yeah.
$10,000 a month is pretty good motivation.
It's good motivation.
Especially in our society that, where money rules all things, apparently.
True.
And in social media land, everybody's, putting out, all their money, even if it's fake.
Now, see, I like some of the video. Well, there's different degrees. There's the Bushwick guys, that dress up as plants and scare people. You're still, it's not.
Yeah,
it's still levels. You know what I mean? Because some cases you get scared someone, they can have a heart attack. Something can happen. They can fall into something. But in most cases, it ends up being a laugh at the end. But you're still taking the risk of putting someone else in a situation they're not prepared for.
Because they might.
Yep, exactly. I've seen some where the reaction is to grab the person, and they're like, whoa, it's a skit, it's a prank, it's a prank.
Yeah.
How that doesn't just make it right. You know what I mean? Like, since America's Funniest Videos, we've been watching like pranks, being shown to us, and we all laugh. Well, we do it to friends and stuff like that. But
there are some great prank shows where they pull pranks on public on people, but generally not something that's going to hurt them.
Exactly,
right? Because there's liability there.
Yeah.
One thing, you got to own your stuff. You got to take responsibility for your actions. Blaming social media, whatever. Sure, you could be influenced by it. We're all influenceable.
Yeah.
That's why they're called influencers.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Exactly.
But I don't know how you're right. I don't know how old he is, but a hallmark of youth is not under thinking of consequences.
Nah, it doesn't seem like it.
The hallmark of being young is you don't have that ability to really see far consequences, which is why you take risks. And it's, I'm going to say it's like evolutionary, wired into the youth to take these massive risks for great reward. And we just don't. But as we get older, we're like, that's might break my knee right there. If I can't jump down. That's gonna hurt. But a kid's like, I got it,
right?
Because they're gonna heal up quick. But you're like, I'm done. That's it.
It's funny you said that because one of the videos I watched this morning, I didn't know what was going on. You just see someone recording, and it's like in their living room or something. And all of a sudden, you see this kid run by. And he jumps off a balcony and does a flip onto his couch. We don't see him land. The next clip is him being escorted out on a gurney because he obviously hurt something. You know what I mean? But in my mind, I'm like, why? But it's like what you said, though. Like,
Yeah,
we know the consequences, especially me when it comes to anything breaking your body related. But it's like, it just seems like, is it because we're seeing so much of it that it seems like it's happening a lot? Or is it always happening because people do things? People are...
Well, I mean, people pulled pranks, but until social media, it wasn't something you can make money off of unless it was that TV show, which was carefully planned and probably had paramedics on standby and all this because they understand the risks. But social media does cause us to do, I don't want to say it's going to cause us to do things, but maybe we're encouraged to certain behaviors. You know, like we wouldn't otherwise, they would never get posted on there.
You remember the whole, like, you remember when Vine was out? I never was big in Vine, but you remember the whole phrase, do it for the Vine? So I get that. People are like, how can we keep pushing? How can we do more? Yeah. You know, $10,000 a month though. I'm content with $10,000 a month. You know what I mean? If that's the level, if I'm doing just at that level to stay at $10,000 a month, give me that.
So there's this guy, Johnny Somali.
Sounds familiar.
He was arrested in Japan for being a nuisance influencer, and also in South Korea.
Isn't he still there?
I think so. I think they're really Not only that, he would go around filming him being a chaos content creator, doing nuisance things, and the people in South Korea caught on to it, and they would start beating him up and chasing him because they're like, quit doing this stuff in our society. Right. But there's this whole list. So, whole list of new Paul Logan in the Aokigahara incidents where he went to that forest and filmed someone who had recently unalived themselves. Yeah.
I'm still surprised he's bounced back from that. I know he kind of was quiet for a long time, and a lot of people are disassociating themselves for him, but he's bounced back.
Yeah, a lot of people went to Japan and did that because they're a polite culture, and it's really But yeah, I really dislike him. I will watch some of like that guy who does he's in the hood, and he will go say weird things to people, and get them riled up, and some will pull they're all like, oh, like they got a gun, or they might pull a knife, or they chase him. He's like, it's a prank, my boy, it's a prank. Camera's right over there.
Well, one of my favorites for the long and you'll probably remember I'm Tyrone. He was slapped cigarette. I'm Tyrone, blah blah. He got stabbed. Changed his content. He went straight from that to just skits. I think he brought back a couple I'm Tyrones, but you can tell they felt like they were staged. Yeah. But he was like, he got stabbed. He was like, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing that again. And then he started doing skits with that in there and kind of around that. But I'm like, no, that should be an eye opener.
$10,000 a month. How can I push the envelope just to the point where I don't get arrested or stabbed?
There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways, but and I get it because I love when things are authentic and the reactions are authentic, but not to that degree of hurting people, hurting myself.
Well, again, like I see the people they'll walk and they'll spill milk in Walmart or the store or whatever, and it's like someone's got to clean that up.
Someone's got to clean that up. And they're not getting paid to clean up messes created.
And if these guys are financially rewarded for that, and they get this money based off that behavior, they also think that they're better than these people. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I got this money. Look at my car. Look at my. I'm like, but you're not. You're a horrible human. Yeah. And the system is unfortunately rewarding that horribleness.
It would almost be one of those things now. If you were to get a job at Target or Wally World, that's where they're going. That's where a lot of these influencers are going to create content. I'd be like, man, I just want to go to work, restock these shelves. I don't want to deal with some young influencer, like you said, throwing milk on the ground or creating chaos, while I'm still trying to just get through my shift. So I feel bad for a lot of those employees because there's constantly videos of them saying, hey, you can't do that here. You can't be in here. Some are tackling them. Some are just, saying, hey, my friend is locked in the bathroom. And then they open up the bathroom and someone's in there. Like that kind of stuff. It's like those poor employees are just like, man, I just want to get through my shift.
Dang, you be seeing some wild.
Because he's watching them in the algorithms feed.
The worst thing I've seen was this dude that when he walks by somebody that's eating an ice cream cone, and it's like a whole series of him doing it to different people. He like dives in and eats the entire cone, like deep throats the entire cone. And then majority of the time it was women.
Yeah.
And they just start wailing on him
with
the cone, like hitting him with the cone, smacking him in his face. He's like, hold on, it's a prank. It's like, but they don't care unless you're about to buy him a new cone.
Right. He probably did, but they're like, in the moment, that's my cone. I want this ice cream.
You?
Yeah. Disrespectful
that's actually theft.
Yeah.
Because they bought that, and that's their ice cream cone, and he just stole it.
And their germs.
Yeah.
I don't know where their mouth's been.
I know, that guy got hurt. So I saw one recently where there's a guy, and I've seen him a couple times, and he dresses up kind of very classy and has a British accent, and he'll just compliment people.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I think
Compliment
I
how they're dressed, this and that.
Yeah.
But he's standing outside of a grocery store or something, and he's complimenting everybody. And the grocery store people come out like, oh, you can't be here doing this.
Right.
And he says, oh, I was told I can come here and do this by the owner or whatever, and they're all...
Which is wild. Why? Like,
and it's like...
But of all the things to stop, why would you stop somebody that's just complimenting people? They're not trying to be aggressive toward them.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
You know,
honestly,
not trying to come on to them is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's on the private property.
Solicitation.
And, you let one person do it,
Yeah.
But still, I was just, so that's the degree. That's kind of a nuisance.
Level,
He's not creating chaos,
nuisance.
But he is, in a sense, he created a nuisance for the people who had to, like, try to get him out of there.
True.
And he didn't leave.
True.
I'm sure at one point he did, but he filmed them coming around.
Right.
But still, it's like, well, now you're pressing these people. They got lives. They got stuff they have to do. And just so you can have content, you can go do that out in a public park, which he does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But still, those people are just trying to enjoy their lives. Like, why do so many creators have to just bring in other people that are unaware that they're going to be part of your show? You know what I mean? That's where you have to be careful with that line. Even if it's positive, you have to be careful with that line. I watched a video of 2 women who go around catcalling guys.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've seen those ones.
Yeah,
they're actually really funny.
They're funny. They're funny.
Where are they at? I want to walk by.
Somewhere in the south.
Oh, okay.
But still, it's just like you're still interrupting people's life. Now, most of their reactions were laughing, or the guys just ignored them and stuff like that. But
a lot of the guys were laughing because it's like corny, but not, like the lines that they're using, you could tell they're doing it for like anybody that they're talking to. They know that that's what it's for, just based on the line that they're using. Yeah. They're obviously not being serious, and they're kind of have that laughter in their voice as they're saying it. So I
guess there's degrees, like you said. There's degrees, levels to the game.
So that's just, you're involving others in your content, but you're not really being a nuisance. You're a nuisance if you start bugging people, you start bothering people, if you start making them have to expend more energy in their life for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the guy who was doing the compliments, when the managers came out, that's when he starts becoming somewhat of a nuisance.
Yeah.
Even though he's being cool and kind to all these people, he's causing these guys to have to expend all sorts of energy that they shouldn't have to, because they got other stuff they got to do.
Yeah.
And now they're out there dealing with him.
Yeah.
Even though he's a very kind gentleman. It's fine. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And as we're talking, like, more coming to my head, but, people that just go to fast food restaurants and go behind the counter and make their own food or grab their own food. It's like, so many now are just rushing to me that I can't stand, but
I would say the algorithm rewards that. People are going to see it as, oh, I can go easy money. Let's do it. Let's try it. Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
But most of it's minimal to no consequences. They film, they go in, they film, they're out. Yeah. They probably don't go back to that establishment, and they feel like, oh, I got what I wanted, and now on to the next thing. Yep. But some of the police are going to be looking, especially when it's, I don't know how they determine what's a crime and not a crime based on what, I guess, the scenarios and stuff like that, but they're looking too. And that's their best defense against most people now. It's just going to the social media.
The algorithm made me do it.
Right.
The algorithm made me do it. Title.
Yeah.
I know where he was going with that. It was good. Yeah, so that was what crossed my feed.
Like, oh, not again.